Hi, this is Cor here. Today I want to share something with you about how to get unstuck. Do you know this? When you are working hard, you want to do a lot, you want to get a lot of things done, or you run into some problems. What are the typical reactions that we have? Well, basically from science they say like you have three responses in your brain. Is the fight, flight, or freeze. And there's a combination of all these things. Fighting, of course, when a problem occurs, you're ready, like, okay, let's go, we need to work harder, we need to do more, you're going for it. Flight is basically, oh, something bad happens, you're like, oh, let me see if I can get out of the camera, like, for example, like this. And freeze is like, basically, your brain is like, oh, stuck. You know, like the fainting goats, you're like, meh, you go out. I love to make that analogy. It's not always the best one, but it's something that actually happens a lot. And why do I share this today? Because especially when you train martial arts, this comes back quicker. For example, if you've been training really hard and you have an opponent where you're sparring with, that person is so strong, you're like, ooh, what's going to happen? There's a tendency either like, oh, I'm going to struggle like crazy, going for it, or you're like, ooh, let me hide. He doesn't see me or she doesn't see me. Or you're like, okay, I'm staying stuck. I'm not able to move. And you're like a sitting duck basically and getting kicked all around. But this also happens a lot in life. For example, if you have a difficult assignment to do, or if you are actually procrastinating on something that you want to do, that is actually a freeze response by basically doing nothing, or fleeing by going into something else. Maybe you know by yourself, like, hey, I've been working on my assignment, maybe if you're in school still, or if you're working on a huge project, and then suddenly you're focusing on all kinds of details. You're like, huh? I'm basically fleeing for the real work. So I want to share something with you today, just to be aware if you notice that you are getting into one of these three modes. And basically from the martial arts, I love this actually a lot. And I want to start with number one. Basically stop. Just, okay, you notice, okay, I'm drifting off, either fighting, flighting, or freezing. And then you're like, okay, stop, what's going on? You go observe yourself. What's happening? What's going on? What is in your system? What are you feeling? What are you noticing? That is one. When you notice, you stop. The second one, we tend to forget. I also tend to forget it a lot. And then I start talking really high and really not enthusiastic, but I'm like almost suffocating myself, like, yeah, almost like I'm out of breath. So the second one is start breathing. And what do I mean with breathing? Yeah, but you already breathe, right? Yeah. No. There is breathing and there's surviving. And if you want to start focusing on your breath again, it's basically stand still. You already did a stop. Big sigh. And then start breathing. You have like several things like box breathing, 4 seconds in, 4 seconds hold, 4 seconds out, 4 seconds hold empty. That's for example one. But also the what's it, 2, 7, 8, or don't get me to the right numbers exactly. But one of these things is like breathe in, hold for a longer time, and what will happen? Your brain, you will take over your prefrontal cortex. In other words, you're taking back your own brain again. And then what happens is you start aligning. And what do I mean with aligning? After this, you've observed, you start to breathe, you will align. Then you're going to focus on what's important for myself. What do I need to work on? What is really important now? What do I feel really? Am I getting more relaxed? Am I getting more into my own body? Am I getting into my own brain? Can I also connect it to my heart? And it sounds a bit fluffy, but in martial arts this is so important. I've done my fair share of competition in the past, and the only time I lost was that I wasn't aligned with myself. I didn't pay attention on how I feel. I didn't stop and took a breather. I didn't breathe at all, and I was completely misaligned. And looking back at the moments that I was aligned, what did I do before the match started? Just like, okay, how do I feel? Okay, I'm excited. I'm tense. Oh, I don't want to use the words. This is a strong opponent. Then I was like, okay, okay, get ready, visualize again, align. Okay, you've been training for several years, several months for this fight. Align myself. Okay, my value is, okay, I've been training hard. Doesn't matter if I win or lose, but I'm going for it. And now, like, oh yeah, okay, now I feel my body. I can feel where I'm standing. I'm ready. These are the things that actually helped me to get out of my freeze moment, because by nature I can freeze because I tend to overthink stuff. And of course, you end with action. If you take these steps when you are in a stressful situation, even if you have to fight, doesn't matter where you are at, if you have to give a presentation, just stop for a moment. Stand still, observe, okay, I feel stressed, I feel anxious, I feel I want to fight, I want to run away, I'm overthinking everything. Then start breathing. Then you will slow down your whole system, and you will go from a fight, freeze or flight to a relaxed state, so that your nervous system will align with you. Then you align yourself, like, hey, okay, these are my values, this is where I'm good at, this is what I'm going to do. Whatever it is at that moment, you will align with yourself. Then you go to your heart, then you go to your head, and then you go to your hands, like, okay, is everything connected? Am I feeling the right way? Am I breathing the right way? Am I feeling stronger the right way? And then, of course, it's action time, because action is what makes the full circle go round. Because then you can readjust yourself. You can get towards the goal that you want to achieve. So take this idea along and go for it. So again, if something happens and you either fight, flight, or freeze, stop yourself, breathe again, align yourself, align your thoughts, and then take action. I want to wish you a great day, and until the next one.